This week's parsha, Parshas Beha'aloshecha, starts off very positively, but by the end of the parsha, we find Bnei Israel complaining twice. The second time about not having meat, and Moshe practically despairs. Moshe tells Hashem, "Listen, this has been extremely difficult. I'm not cut out for this. I'm not ready for this. I don't want to do this. Let's just end it." Right here. Hashem turns to Moshe and says, "No, Moshe, don't worry. Gather 70 people, 70 elders, and these people will assist you in leading the nation, and everything will turn out okay." So Moshe does this. He gathers the people, and then we find that Hashem had already told Moshe that he's going to take from the prophetic abilities of himself, of Moshe, and give from it to the 70 people. And we find that there are two men remaining in the camp, and they are prophesizing. Right? Eldad and Medad, the Torah tells us their name. They're prophesizing in the camp. Who are Eldad and Medad? So the Medrash and the Mefarshim explain to us that 70 is not divisible by 12. So this is a problem because, of course, all 12 of the tribes would want to be represented equally amongst the elders. But that doesn't work. 6 times 12 is 72. It's not 70. So what did Moshe do? Moshe made a lottery, and whoever became 70 people got the golden ticket. Right, 70 people became Sekanim, and two people didn't. Two people didn't become elders. Those two people were Eldad and Medad. They were the ones who were not chosen, and surprisingly, they are the ones who prophesied. And the Gemara tells us they prophesied for even longer and continuously, more than the elders themselves. What exactly is their prophecy? It's not clear, but some Na'ar, who again the Medrash tells us is Moshe's son, goes and tells Moshe, "Look, these two people are remaining in the camp and they're prophesying. Eldad and Medad misnabim b'machaneh." So Yoshua takes up the cudgels from Moshe and says, "Moshe kaleim," right, which literally seems to imply destroy them, right? Get rid of them, doing something else. So why is Yoshua so upset? About this prophecy. So the Gemara in Sanhedrin gives us three possibilities as to what it was exactly that Eldad and Medad were prophesying. So the Gemara says, "Umanavu and Istabu." So what prophecy were they in fact prophesying? So Amru Moshe Meis Yoshua Machnis Yisrael Laaretz. The first opinion is that the prophecy was that Moshe is going to die, and it will be Yehoshua who will lead the Jews into Eretz Yisrael. And this then we can understand why Yehoshua was so upset. He didn't want to, as it were, suggest or that he would overtake his teacher. Okay, so that's one of the opinions. Abachanina Omer Mishum Rebbe Eliezer. And Bachanan says, "Al iski slav himisnabim." Right. So they said they were the ones who brought in the slav, they were the ones who brought in the pheasants, and were able to provide meat to Bnei Israel, which of course itself ended off in tragedy. Reb Nachman says, "Al iski gogu magog himisnabim." They were talking about the final days, the days before the Messiah, in which there'll be this terrible war with Gog, who's the king of Magog, and that's what they were prophesying on. Okay, so that's what Eldad and Medad were talking about. Moshe, however, shows true leadership, and he says, "No, if only all Jews could be prophets, we shouldn't in any way be jealous that that we have these two men who are prophesying. What if only everybody was able to be a prophet?" And in this way, Moshe shows true leadership. However, one can ask a very relevant question, like why is it now that Eldad and Medad are making these prophecies? We can understand with the Slav, if they're the ones who are calling the pheasants to come in and provide meat, which Bnei Israel so much desired, so then it makes sense. But what about the other two? What about the fact that why is it now that it should be chosen that Moshe is not going to lead the Jews into Eretz Israel? So you could say that, well, now it's because Moshe has given up, right? So Moshe was depressed, and so Hashem, now is the time for the prophecy. Moshe, listen, you're not going to make it, but Yoshua is going to lead the Jews into Eretz Israel. Okay, so that could be one way of looking at it, but I think there's another way of looking at it, which is that Moshe, of course, as all individuals, understood that his time at some point would come. He didn't know perhaps when. He didn't know that he wouldn't be able to lead the Jews into Eretz Yisrael. Of course, he wanted to very much. But the prophecy, from Yoshua's standpoint, is a negative. Look, it suggests that he should be taking over for his teacher. But Moshe perhaps saw it positively. He said, "Look, I left a student who could take my place." And so that's why Eldad and Medad are saying he's there. The prophecy is a comfort to Moshe, right? Saying to him, "Listen, Moshe, don't worry. You're right. There are struggles, right? And there are going to continue to be struggles. However, know that you'll have a successor who's worthy of leading the Jewish people as well. You will be successful, right? Maybe you're not successful in leading the Jews into Eretz Israel. You'll be successful in finding a student who can take your place." Similarly, I think with the suggestion that the prophecy was on this situation with Gog and Magog, right? Gog and Magog, this final war that the Medrash suggests will happen before the time of the Messiah. So that is again demonstrative of the internal struggle between good and evil. Right? There's always going to be a struggle. There's always going to be forces of positive and forces of negative, and that struggle will continue until the end of times. And Hashem, as it were, through this prophecy of Eldad Medad, is telling Moshe, Moshe, listen, you're right. You're struggling. Things are hard. And you should know it's always going to be this way, right? It's always going to be this way forevermore. It's going to be this way for you. It's going to be this way for Yoshua. It's going to be this way for Yoshua's students, the Zakanim. It's going to be this way for all Jewish leaders and for all Jewish people until the end of time. But know that at the end of time, in the war of Gog and Magog, there's going to be success. And the Jews are going to come out on top. And even though a situation may look bleak and things may look bleak perhaps in our own lives and the lives of our ancestors, they look bleak in our own lives, they look bleak, perhaps in our children's lives, they will look bleak. But know that in the future, things will work out positively, things will work out for the best because it is Hashem who's the one who runs history. Have a good Shabbos.